What's going on, guys? It's your boy Patrick, aka Addicted to Combat, back for another week of fights. This time it's UFC Vegas 55. Holly Holm taking on Ketlin Vieira in the main event. Some wacky fights on here. Not a whole lot of high-level action, but there's some good spots to make some money. If you haven't gone over to Eric Betts Fights YouTube page or followed him on Twitter, I suggest you do that. He does a fun show called Big Money Bets every Thursday night. I was the guest on that show last night, and it was fun to talk shop with another OG fan of the sport, and a sharp bettor as well. So we were able to go over some 2, 4, and 6 leg parlays. We agreed on a lot of the confident fighters that we put in the parlays, and then we traded some high payout props back and forth, about 6 apiece. So I'm going to quickly go over the ones I'm very confident in. I'll give out the parlay I put out on Eric's show, but I suggest you go over and watch it. It was a fun time with him, and he's just a good person to follow in the YouTube betting community. So the first leg on my parlay was Holly Holm, and I parlayed her with Michelle Pereira. That pays out about like plus 150 or something like that. So I'm pretty confident in both of these fighters this week. Holly Holm, at first I was a bit apprehensive because of her age, 40 years old. She'll be 41 later this year. Pretty long in the tooth, has not really taken a lot of damage, but when you consider she had an entire pro boxing career before even making the move to mixed martial arts at the high level, a lot of wear and tear, but we haven't seen it yet. She's still, very, very good movement. One of the better movers that we've ever seen in the women's divisions, especially at bantamweight. You look at her opponent, Ketlin Vieira, very slow-moving, flat-footed style, where that does give her some power in the close-range exchanges. I think that Holly Holm and her 5-round experience is going to be too much for her. I think she's going to have a lot of trouble hitting Holly Holm, who's very evasive, uses a very long, lengthy style with those, side kicks to the leg, kicks to the body, and just really long, straight, linear shots that Holly Holm employs. So unless she's fallen off in her old age, unless this past, year and a half long layoff has been unkind to her, she has been battling some injuries, but nothing that I've seen yet. In her last fight against Irene Aldana, she looked very good. So I'm much more impressed with what I've seen from Holm than what I've seen with Aldana. I'm pretty confident. Michelle Pereira, I think this is a similar case where I think Santiago Ponzinibbio, actually, we have seen a decline since, kind of the peak of his career in 2018, where he defeated Neil Magny in Buenos Aires, Argentina, headlined the card there, and then disappeared into obscurity for a long time. Battled a lot of injuries, a lot of health issues, and, he came back after a long layoff against Li Jingliang, got knocked out. It wasn't a good look. Now he's having competitive fights with Miguel Baeza, losing split decision competitive fights to Jeff Neal. Michelle Pereira is kind of more on the Holly Holm side of things, where he's a very good in and out mover, very good on the outside, very accurate with his punches, and I think it's going to be too much against Santiago Ponzinibbio, who does pressure forward well, but he's been fighting guys who have a very slow-moving, flat-footed style as of late. I think Michelle Pereira will cruise to a 3-round decision here, just like Holly Holm. I think will cruise to a 5-round decision in her fight. The third and fourth leg of the parlay, a 4-leg parlay I've put together: Holly Holm, Pereira, Jonathan Martinez, and Omar Morales. I'm pretty high on the durability of Omar Morales in this fight. I think he's just a more proven, more consistent guy. Urosh Medic is kind of a banshee in round 1, has never been past 1.5 rounds, and I never like banking on that. I'll bank on Omar Morales and what I've seen from him to stay durable in that first, round and a half, first 7.5 minutes against Urosh Medic, and find his way either to a inside the distance finish in round 2 or 3, or a decision win, and actually drag Urosh Medic out into deep waters of this fight and outpoint him. Jonathan Martinez, I could see winning a 3-round fight as well, 3-round decision as well, over Vince Morales, Vince Morales is tough. Vince Morales can crack hard. I think he definitely has the potential to knock out Jonathan Martinez, who has been hittable. You saw Martinez dropped in his last fight several times against Perez, but as long as he can stay safe from that knockout potential, I think that's what Vince Morales brings, is a puncher's knockout chance. He would have to land something, which is possible, but I think it's more likely that Jonathan Martinez keeps him at distance with the leg kicks, the knees up the middle, the kicks that he does to keep his opponents at range. He does have that tall man's defense where he can keep his chin up in the air. I think if you learned from being dropped in his last fight, which made the fight very close, if you learned from those mistakes last time out, I think he's young enough to improve, and I think we see a better, more defensively sound version of him in this fight. So I like that 4-leg parlay. That pays out about 5-1. Then I added on Tabitha Ricci and Joseph Holmes as well. The Joseph Holmes pick, I'm more fading Alan Amadovsky. I like the youth, I like the activity, and I like the size of Joseph Holmes. Tabitha Ricci, I think it's just a skill difference entirely. I think she's the better ground fighter. I think she can finally stay defensively sound against that first round submission offense that Polyana Viana brings to the table. So that 6-fight parlay altogether, all of those fighters will come out, I think it was somewhere around 14-1. You can do the math. It's something very juicy. So I do like that, and I've played the 2 and 4 and 6-leg parlay. As far as the props that I like this week, I do like Ponzinibbio, Michelle Pereira, fight goes to decision at -159 is what I got that at. I think both guys have proven, pretty good durability. Ponzinibbio, other than the Li Jingliang fight and his comeback, which was a little bit fluky, he has stayed safe against some power punchers like Jeff Neal and Miguel Baeza, so I do like that. Michelle Pereira, the same thing. He's been hurt earlier in his career pre-UFC, but in the UFC, he's managed to use his movement, his length, physical attributes, and speed to kind of roll with the punches and not get hit flush, and he wears his damage quite well, even going up against power hitters like Andre Fiallo, who we've seen just knocking fools out now. So I like that bet as well. I like... This is a tough one, but I do like Sam Hughes by decision here at +240. You could skip this one entirely. I wouldn't be too mad, but I do think that there's a bit of value on a fight that I see closer to a pick'em between Elise Reed and Sam Hughes. Both of these women are very unimpressive to me. This is a kind of a degenerate bet in a way. I don't like either of their money lines. I do think this should be closer to a pick'em fight, and I don't see Sam Hughes winning inside the distance. I would see a decision win based on takedowns and... so just her going for takedowns more, her being more successful now with this renewed confidence after her first win in the UFC recently, and +240. And I've seen even, I think Eric Betts Fight saw this out there like +270. That would be a great bet as well. A fight that I see going to decision either way, whichever woman wins this fight, Elise Reed or Sam Hughes. But if Sam Hughes wins, I see her... like I said, I just think it's closer to a coin flip fight. Either time, it's going to go to decision, +240 to +270. Sign me up for that. More of a degenerate bet. You can see I'm a little bit apprehensive to even pull the trigger on this fight in general, but what are you going to do? Have to have some degenerate low-level women's MMA in there at some point. And I might as well close with, the bet heard around the world last night. The prop parlay heard around the world. The +87,000 is what it comes out to now if you were to get Parker Porter by decision at +1100. Parlayed with Eric Anders and Junyoung Park at goes to a draw at +6600. Parlay those two together, you get +87,000 or +88,000. Very, very juicy. I put that out there as my kind of bonus prop on Eric's show last night, and I was talking about it with some guys on Twitter as well. I got the approval from Lou Betya, who is, if you know him, he's the Twitter's degenerate parlay prop parlayer. So, if you get his approval, you've done something pretty degenerate. So, those are about it. Not a whole lot of action this week. I did spice things up for the sake of working with Eric yesterday on some parlays. I'm not overly enthusiastic about this card this week. Not a lot of trustworthy picks, but I think we chose the 6 most trustworthy out of the 11 fights. So there we have it. We saw the weigh-ins today. Jelton Almeida looked, pretty improved in size, more than I thought he would, coming from 205. So that was good. He weighed in around like 227 or something heavy. Other than that, everybody else made weight. The only people that missed weight were the ones that are on the Eagle FC card tonight, which I'll be watching soon. So good luck in all your betting action. Hit that subscribe. I'm glad we cracked 100 subscribers. It's been a lot of fun making new friends in this arena. And I will see you guys on Sunday or Monday. I'll be honest, I might have to work on Sunday. So maybe Sunday or Monday for the results and recap. All right, have fun watching the fights, you guys. I'll see you soon.